This is Spanish 101 from the book Gente. We're looking at right now how to form plurals. Note that if a word ends with a vowel, to make it plural, you simply add an S to it. So el libro becomes los libros. And yes, the word for the, el, has to change to los when it becomes plural. La silla ends with a vowel, A-E-I-O-U, add an S, chairs, las sillas. If the word ends in a consonant, then what you have to do is add es to form the plural. So pared is singular, the wall. Paredes, add es. Borrador ends with a consonant R. Add es to make it plural. If a word ends in a Z, then change the Z to a C. Then add es. So el lápiz becomes los lápices. If the singular form of the verb has an accent mark, then keep the accent mark when you make the word plural. Do note, the word cion, it will have an accent mark in its singular form, but it will lose the accent mark in the plural form. Nación, singular, the nation. Naciones, there is no accent mark. Constitución, singular, has an accent mark. Constituciones does not. Adjectives in Espanol. On page 35 of your textbook, it starts showing that adjectives generally come after the noun they modify. So the red notebook, that's how we say it in English, but in Spanish it's un cuaderno rojo. Notice that once cuadernos, notebooks, is plural, then the adjective has to be plural. Add an S to it. What about a nationality? Well, persona is una palabra femenina, feminine. So Colombian, in Spanish, colombiana. Here, amigo is a masculine word, so Colombian ends in an O, colombiano. With many words or adjectives, the masculine version ends in an O, the feminine version ends in an A. There are words, though, that end in the letter E. If a word ends in the letter E, it can be used with feminine nouns or masculine nouns. Una silla grande or un libro grande. Note, if the noun goes plural, the adjective has to go plural too. Sillas grandes. Libros grandes. Interesante ends with an E. So that word can describe a feminine word, una clase, or a masculine word, el libro. An interesting book, an interesting class. Note when it goes plural. Because it ends in an E, a vowel, to make it plural, simply add an S. Look at the word azul. This is blue. The translation is blue in English. Blue ends with a consonant. El libro azul or la silla azul. Note the word stays the same. Many words that end in a consonant can modify or describe a masculine word or a feminine word. Note too, when it went plural, because it ends in a consonant, you add an ES. There's a category of adjectives that end in DOR. Adjectives that end in DOR for the masculine version, but they will end in the final A for a female version. So trabajador means a hardworking male. Trabajadora is a hardworking female. Conversador and conversadora. Conversadora is a female that talks very well or a lot. Conversador is a male that talks a lot. A conversationalist, if you will. Note, a person from Spain, masculine, español, a Spanish man. Española, a Spanish female. Francés, well, the female is francesa, the French woman. So again, there are certain forms that we have to realize When we describe a man, it may have a different form. The word may have a different form when the adjective describes a female. We'll have to memorize that as we go through class. What if I gave you a choice here? Blanco could be blanco or blanca, blancos or blancas. Which form do we need to complete this sentence? Well, what are we describing? El libro. It's singular. It's masculine. So, we need el libro es blanco is the only way that we can complete that sentence. The notebooks are yellow. Los cuadernos son, well, that's plural and masculine. So the best answer is amarillos. Los cuadernos son amarillos. Los papeles, masculine and plural. What form of blanco? Blanco, blanca, blancos, blancas? Well, we'll have to use blancos. Los papeles son blancos. Now let's think about adjectives, possessive adjectives. In Spanish, it's mi or mis for my or mine. Your, when you're talking to a friend, someone familiar, tú or tus. His, her, its, or your is the word su or sus. Why are there two versions of these? Well, the first version is the singular one. The next version is if you have two or more of something. Our. Here we have four choices. Nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. It depends on what word you're describing right after it. Same in Spain when you say your plural. Vuestro, vuestra, vuestros, vuestras. There are four versions of those last two possessive adjectives. Plus the word su or sus can also mean their or theirs. In some possessive adjectives, well, there's a singular version and there's a plural version. And with two of them, nuestro and vuestro, not only is there a singular and plural version, but there's a masculine and feminine version. Let's look at some examples of expressions that use possessive adjectives. My chair. In Spanish, mi silla. But what if chairs is plural? Mis sillas. Your possessive adjective must be plural. The noun is plural. Our book, nuestro libro. Our books, nuestros libros. Our chairs, plural. The nuestras has to be plural and feminine. Our friend, if our friend is female, nuestra amiga. If her friend is used, we expect to see su amiga. His friend, the same word su is used, su amiga. So su can be confusing. It can mean his or her. It can be your in a formal context, or it can be their. When I say formal, I mean we're talking to someone who we don't know well, and we want to show respect. So in the common expression on TV, you hear mi casa es su casa. My house is your house. I'm talking to a stranger, but I'm trying to be respectful. Su has many meanings or translations when we translate it into English. Let's talk about conjugating verbs. Every time we write down a verb, we have to look and see what the subject of the sentence is so that we know the correct form of the verb to use. The first thing you do is drop the last two letters off of a verb, infinitive. Hablar becomes H-A-B-L. Now we have to determine what the subject or the subject pronoun is of the sentence. Right now we're just going to fiddle with the present tense. Here are the subject pronouns that we'll use. Yo, meaning I, tú, meaning you, él y usted, or nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Look for those subject pronouns in your sentences. Then, based on the subject pronoun, you will decide what ending to tack on. If yo is the subject, make your stem, drop your AR, and add the final O. Yo hablo. I speak. Hablar, drop your AR. What if nosotros is your subject? Well, then your verb should be hablamos. Hablamos. So if two is the subject, notice this is 1, 2, second person. Come down here. 1, 2, second person. This is the ending you tack on. Vosotros. Notice, second person plural. Come over here. 1, 2, second person plural. You tack on AIS, A with an accent mark, IS. If vosotros is your subject, habláis, HABL, A with an accent mark, IS. Ella, trabajar. What do we need? Well, anytime ella is your subject, drop your AR. What's the ending with ella? You add on an A. Ella trabaja. That's the only verb that can be written down, the only conjugated form. That means she works, she does work, or she is working. Let's look at your homework. I need you to write a paragraph of 10 sentences or so summarizing what you saw today. At the end of the document, answer these questions. Send an email to me with your notes and your answers 48 hours after the 1 p.m. Monday start. So I need this by Wednesday at 1 p.m. by email. My email is here. Conjugate the following verbs. Notice the fake subject that I give you. When you answer, include the verb, the infinitive, the fake subject, and your answer. Here we go. Hablar, escribir, salir. Give me those answers. What form of the verb would you need if to was your subject? And these verbs too. And possessive adjective. Translate the following items from English into Spanish. I need 2 words here. Our dog. Do all of these. The end.